Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Well, 7:25. We decided to come on a little early today. My guest wanted to make sure she could get on to Instagram Live in plenty of time. But we are here with Just Like You, everyday people, amazing stories. So I hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope there's positivity surrounding you and you are having a fabulous Tuesday. And I hope the rest of the week continues to be well for you. Just a few administrative issues that I want to make sure I try to say before every show now. If for some reason we get cut off, we will be back. We start here at 7:30 Central Standard Time and we go until 8 o'clock. And somebody's lighting fireworks behind us, but that's okay. This is live, so we're going with it. So let's see. I think she's here, but administratively, I'll get back to that in just a second. Let me get her on here. Granita? Hello? Oh, I think she's coming in. I think it's connecting. There you are, Granita.
Hi.
Can you hear me? We can hear you. We can't see you.
I can't see you.
Uh-oh.
What do I do? Let's see.
See you.
Let's see.
Now we can see you. Oh, yeah, you might have to turn it around. Did you just turn your camera around?
Good Lord. There we go.
There you are, beautiful. We see you.
Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. I was just telling everyone, just we wanted to come on a little early just to make sure you got on time. And then administratively, I wanted to let everybody know, just in case for whatever reason, I know we had fireworks going off a second ago. Occasionally there'll be a storm that'll come through or anything like that can happen within our half an hour. So if we do get cut off, we will be back. So most importantly, we will be back. We're going to be here from 7:30 to 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, sharing positivity and sharing love. And for those of you who are watching and joining in, if you have a story, which we all do, if you would like to share your story on Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories, please get in touch with me. Please DM me, private message me, whatever. I'd love to have you on the show. It's just about positivity. We're in a lot going on in our world today, but we also know that we have a lot of people doing amazing things around us. And I want to make sure that we take this time and use this platform to highlight our amazing people. So if you have a story or know someone who does, please get in contact with me, tag me, whatever works for you. But again, Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories, Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And hi, Veronica. Hello, we see you. So let's see. We have about 2 minutes before we're officially getting started, but we can unofficially get started, Granita. So I'm going to let her do most of the introduction for herself, for herself. But hey, Jalea. So Granita, you're getting some people on here. So
I see. Hi.
I don't know whether I say sister, friend, a sister friend. To me, since I moved here to Chicago, she's just been a listening ear for many things, trust me. And I just truly appreciated her friendship and then just truly appreciated her excellence in what she does. So I just, again, she has a story. I'll let her introduce herself and share it with you. But I just want to say, Granita, thank you so much for coming on the show and allowing people to hear your story. So go ahead, introduce yourself, and we'll take the first 10 minutes just to share your journey.
Okay. T, I call Taryn Lady T, or what's up, T. Just real quickly, you've always been so approachable. You came into the neighborhood and just opened yourself up to myself, my mom. She adores you. And you've always been this fantastic, whirlwind from Cali, coming to the Midwest with all your coolness, but always just been such a pleasure to know you and share space with you. Also on a friendship level and a professional level, both as fitness and wellness professionals. And you shared your story with me. And I just thank you for being so intentional and, transparent and real. So, thanks, girl.
Thank you.
So, okay, me. Now I got my little timer here, like she's
Okay.
like 10 minutes and 5
Yes.
minutes. And so you tell me, okay, on to the next.
Okay.
But my name is Granita. Presently, professionally, I'm a visiting clinical assistant professor at the University of Illinois, Chicago campus in the physical therapy department. I'm not a physical therapist. I am a kinesiologist. My research deals with physical activity practices of underserved populations. So that's kind of like the official term. However, I actually don't know how I got there because I've always been like a community person, a community practitioner, you know, 3 girls, we're at the park working it out, taking a walk. You know, I've worked in almost every type of fitness or health facility, boutique personal training studios, large commercial franchises, YMCA, church basements, you know, all those sorts of things. Growing up, I got my love for movement and wellness. I thought it was from my dad because I would see him so active. My dad, and as you probably heard this story before, he was in his late 40s and he was racing the neighborhood boys down the street and beating them. And yeah, and he played baseball at his job and just very active. He's 74 now and he's probably up on a ladder cleaning somebody's gutters or something. And that's just who he is. But as I got older, I realized that my mother was really the one who gave us, motivated us and pushed us to move, jump, dance, go to dance class, run track, but she didn't do those things herself. So I kind of want to touch on that a little bit later, but she saw the importance of moving and being healthy, and she wanted that for her kids, and she pushed us to do that. So I started working at a gym when I was a sophomore in high school. Told a big fat whopping story that I knew how to teach aerobics, and I didn't. I just had a dance background, and I'm surprised people walked out of there because we started with high kicks, power jumps. I had people doing back bends, and they were doing it. You know, I had my little Jane Fonda thong on and my little Reebok shoes with the scrunchy leg warmers. Like we got them from Venture. I don't know if you're old enough to know about Venture and Zare T, but
there, yes.
Heard about Zare, yes. So so that was high school. I wanted a membership and came in there. I was making about $3.35 an hour. So excited. And then I went to U of I, University of Illinois in Champaign, and I ran track my freshman year and I got injured.
Okay.
And when I got injured, I met a young lady who was in the kinesiology program. So kinesiology, study of human movement. Back in the day, and maybe there were some departments called exercise science, but it was called kinesiology.
Okay.
And she was just telling me about, you know, studying the different body systems, different movements, you know, skeletal muscle. And I was like, there's a major for that? You could do that? I was a chemistry major at the time and it was kicking my butt. And so she introduced me to it. I found out what the, you know, requirements were, and I kind of slid into that and fell in love with it. So kinesiology, under that umbrella, you know, there's exercise, you know, that's a subset. There's work, there's dance. So all of those things that I had an interest in and a love for, I was able to kind of put that under.
Okay.
So got my undergrad in kinesiology and came back to Maywood and was ready to develop this. I just laugh now. I went to the mayor's office and I was like, I want to develop this program for the community and we're all going to exercise and we're going to be great. And they were like, well, we really don't have an interest in that. Can you teach math? And I said, I'm bringing something that could help increase the quality of life,
Yeah.
you know, and there's just no interest. And I was broken. I just had all these ideas and I knew they were going to come in, you know, open arms and open minds.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen. So I started going to the big box gyms, teaching 10, 15 classes a week. And I kind of lost who I was in that. I mean, I loved it. I loved being and no lie, I was the token hip hop girl. I was the girl who choreographed Rhythm Nation, you know, and it was cool with me. I was like, okay, great. But my commitment to like my community, my commitment to like the people who can go to the YMCA at Athletic Club Illinois Center. It was downtown Chicago on Stetson and Lake Street. You know, you had Michael Jordan would come in, Scottie Pippen, you know, other people who, you know, the memberships were like $150 a month. And so it was like, it was exciting to be, you know, this young girl in this environment. But, you know, I came to myself after a while, like, you know, what are you doing? Who are you helping? And I decided to go back to school. I was just going to get a master's degree because I thought with what I wanted to do, when I came back to myself, what I wanted to do, talk about health and wellness for my community, for people of color, I needed an advanced degree for anybody to listen to me.
Okay.
I went back and my advisor said, you only have a couple of hours and for the PhD. You might as well stay. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, and 5 years later, well, I was
a little bit later.
Oh my goodness. It was, besides 21 hours of labor, it was the hardest thing that I did. I was not ready for it. I came back. I was an older student. I had
joined Amy.
Hi.
Yeah.
I had a son, and I was what they call it, not an alternative student, non-traditional student.
Okay.
I was a non-traditional student, and I tell you, I'd be in seminar, and he'd be in the corner watching Caillou with Honey Nut Cheerios, and I'd be like, "Be quiet for mama, be quiet for mama." And I had some really good support, some undergraduate students who I could hire for really cheap to help me with my boy, and I had some professors who were really great. And people were very kind to me, and it took me a very long time, but I finished.
Yay!
Finally came back to Chicago and could not find a job at all. Nowhere.
Tough.
So I was in this space, right? I was so angry. I was so like, I did this work and I accomplished this, and I was the first African American woman to be conferred the PhD in the 100-year history of the department. Because UIUC was notorious in the early 1900s and even later, up until the 70s, for not admitting students of color. So kind of was like, hello, excuse me,
do you know
where's that girl doing? Do you know? And they were like, actually, we know and we don't care. So, and that'll go to one of my, when you asked me my 3 questions about lessons I learned.
We're about to get
and I just couldn't understand. So, but it reminded me that you're going out to get accolades from people, get this alphabet behind your name. You're waiting for someone to promote you. First of all, God promotes you. And secondly, you have to do what's true to yourself, because you can't do it for some to be gazed upon. So came back and just really got back into fitness and wellness. And I've been making the transition from personal training to wellness consultant. I'm a NASM certified personal trainer. However, I'm completing a certification through UIC Healthy Living Practitioner, which is a research-based kind of health and wellness coach, because there are so many things that go into being well or being fit. So I am in this department. I'm still, because I love education and I love research, but I've also been able to stay within the community to do the programming that I'm passionate about.
So that is your story. So you kind of alluded to it. We'll get into the next part. It's a great story. I mean, I think it's like a story of, man, you know, what am I going to do, first of all? And then I'm going to fake it till I make it. And then now here I am, I got it. And now still, what am I going to do? And then how, I think, you know, what I hear is you've kind of made this your own, which I think is super cool, right? Like, we're going to get into the next question is, what lessons have you learned? But what I heard you say was, you know, you've kind of made this into your own. And there'll be times in all of our worlds, right, where someone looks at us and we're like, oh my goodness, we have the best thing since sliced bread. And someone else is like, yeah, we know you and we don't care, you know?
Right.
And so that has been cool that you've been able to make it your own. And I think what's also cool is you've kept on your North Star. You've kept focused on what you want to do. And I think that,
and it kind of, this was the line, it kind of went around but yes, I get back to it. Yeah.
You stayed focused on your North Star and you stayed focused on your purpose. So for the next, you know, few minutes, 5 minutes here, what lessons have you learned from your journey? What lessons has Grenita learned from her journey?
Wow.
3 of them, 3 lessons.
3 lessons. One lesson, and I wrote these down, is to keep a little for yourself. Keep a little for yourself, because if you give yourself away completely, you can lose your direction. You can lose your focus. And I think as women, and that's not to say, fellas, guys don't go above and beyond, but you think about your family, your job. I have so many, friends, co-workers.
Thumbs up on that one.
I get thumbs up. Where example, a very close friend of mine, she's single, and once a month, each person in her department are supposed to work late. And she was working every Monday night. And so I just happened to talk to her. I said, oh, you're at work late again. I thought you worked last Monday. She's like, I did. But, you know, Janine, she had to pick up her kids. And she, you know, she said, well, you don't have anybody to go home to. So can you just stay late? And then she said, and then Joanne, you know, she's got 3 kids and they're under the age of 5. Oh, man. So, and I was like, stay late another Monday night and it's not your night. We're going to have a problem. Why is your time less important because you're single or because you don't have a child? What it is you do this Monday, I do that Monday, then that's what it is. You deserve that night. You deserve those 3 nights, because you may just want to go home and meditate. You may want to watch Insecure. You may have a project to do. You may be waiting to be found by Mr. or Mrs. Right. So you needed to be able to have that time and not completely empty your stores or your resources, because then when you do need to encourage yourself, turn it on yourself, sometimes you have to, and people might think you're crazy. You like, you can do this. You could, girl, you have those conversations. If you're spent, how can you do that? How can you do that?
Sometimes when you, and if you don't save some for yourself, when that one moment is where you hit the explode button and you do explode, then people are like, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? I don't understand. How come she got to go home on?
Why are you so angry? What happened?
They're like, wait a minute. I've been here every Monday for the past 2 months. I'm just saving some, you know, but they're not used to you saving some for yourself. So you almost have to do it so that people understand that that's what you're going to do. So that's right. Lesson 1, save some for yourself. Lesson 2.
Right. Lesson 2, which is a segue. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You can say, no, I don't think that's going to work for me. Or my favorite is, but it's so foreign. I had to almost practice it. I told a person, no, I don't, I'm not willing to commit to that.
I'm not willing
And
to practice that.
yeah, exactly. Because coming out of my mouth, I'm not willing. No, I'm sorry. I'm not willing to commit to that. And I was waiting for the response, like the email, and it was nothing. It was crickets. And I was like, oh, sucky now. I actually, now I won't lie. I did want to send another email and be like, oh, well, maybe. But then I didn't, because I'm like, you said what you said and you meant that. And I worked so hard to construct a very sensitive email that was not combative or aggressive, but it still said, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. And that really started it. I still have problems saying no to my mama, but she's the only one now.
What I like about what you said, and I don't even know if you noticed that you said it this way, but you said, I'm not willing to commit. No, I'm not willing to commit to that. Sometimes I've found myself saying, no, I don't think I can commit to that. And I'm like, you don't think you can commit to it? Or you can't commit to it. And being okay with saying, no, I can't commit to that. Instead of like being in this wishy-washy mode and feeling guilty, like, maybe I can, maybe I can't. I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Right.
So I like.
Then you're working through your calendar. You're like, if I do these 5 things before 7 a.m. and then I do this, then maybe I can do it. And I think lots of time and as I've gotten older, I realize that my time is just as important as my money. Where before in my 20s, I was like, sure, I'll teach 5 classes a day, because at the end of the day, even though my ankles are swollen and I need to use my asthma pump and my back hurts because you're starving. So then you make some terrible choices. But at the end of the day, I made $200.
Right.
You know, but now I have to, and money, you know, money is the conduit of everything. You use money to get things you need and want. But so many times I'm like, yeah, that right there, that's gonna wipe me out.
Right.
So
we're gonna go into lesson number 3, but we got you know, say no. Money, no doesn't make you a bad person. You know, that's
right,
a good lesson.
Right.
No doesn't make you bad. So let's go into number 3. Lesson number 3.
Lesson number 3: practice kindness. Practice, and I say practice it because that might not be your first go-to, which is okay. Which is okay. I have a friend, and the whole week she said, you know, so and so said I was mean. And then I told them, yeah, they say I'm mean. And she said, well, and she said, you think I'm mean? I said, I think you're direct. I said, I think you can be aggressive. I said, why is that a bad thing? Why is being mean a bad thing? But she didn't want that label because she thought it made her a bad person. Just like the saying, people mistake kindness for weakness. But I feel like there are going to be some people who want to take advantage of that. But generally, people really appreciate when a person exhibits kindness. When you meet kindness with aggression, what do they have? What we can't go, but we can't go toe to toe because you're here. And I'm like, yeah. No.
And I also think sometimes people do mistake being direct as being mean. But I heard this saying one time, and it resonated with me. It says, to be unclear is to be unkind. I think that's true. If I'm unclear about X, Y, and Z thing, my expectation thought, then I'm actually being unkind to you because I'm not giving you my authentic self. I'm not giving you a clear goal or expectation that you don't even know what I'm saying if I'm not clear. So to be clear or to be unclear is to be unkind. And so as opposed to thinking about it as someone being direct as being mean, to be unclear is actually being unkind to someone, because you're not giving them your authentic self, and they're not getting your authentic answer, or communicating appropriately. So
Right.
I
And
think,
they don't have enough information to
right.
answer or respond, in a effective way. So
So I
yeah.
think, to your point of being kind, I think sometimes being kind is being direct and being clear. That's being kind, because, I'm not, if I wishy-washy around
You
it,
know what you're getting.
you're not sure what you're going to get.
I also think, like, we are in a society, and I deal a lot with how culture and society affects your health, environmental, job, familial. But I think when you are kind, you stop and wait a minute to address the issue. It might not be a problem, but just what's happening. Like you're saying, you're telling the person, I have time to discuss this with you, to hash this out, to chop it out with you. American society, we are so ready. We're going to check somebody. I'm going to tell you about yourself. I'm going to put you in your place. You're not going to take advantage of me. And sometimes I think we miss so much in the translation, where you're like, American society, we're very individualistic, where, cream rises to the top, get what you can get. And that inhibits us from true communication. Like, then we miss things like active listening, empathy. We're waiting to say what we have to say. You're saying what you're saying, and I'm not even listening to you, because I'm ready with my rebuttal or my clapback or my response. And I think when you intentionally think, you know what, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to listen, even though somebody may say something that might normally incite you, you're like, you know what, I am going to stop for a second. I'm going to be the bigger person, put my big girl pants on. and it is a challenge. And I will say, for me, like, especially this last 3 weeks or so, or a month, I have just had such a spectrum of emotions. And I've honestly been really resentful that some people are going about like business as usual. So I was like, I can't believe the world is burning, the sky is falling, COVID, and social injustice and rest and looting and all this, and you're still doing work. What's up with that? But I had to remember that my struggle and my fight and my heartbreak isn't the next person's struggle and heartbreak, and I can't make them feel how I feel. So being kind and giving somebody else the benefit of the doubt, it puts my humanness out there, which also makes me vulnerable. And sometimes that can blow up in your face. But I can sit back and say, you know what, even though I felt so-and-so, at least I tried to put my best effort forward, but sometimes it's not always, it doesn't always go like that.
Pretty. So now we're going to get into someone, let's say there's someone else out there that is, in any of the phases that you've been in, like I said, in the phase of what am I going to do, in the phase of, oh my goodness, I've done what I'm going to do. And now I'm presenting it to somebody who, is not on board with me, or, all of those phases. What lessons would you tell someone else? I mean, we have the ones that you've learned, but is there anything you would, tell someone else that, that they can get through it too? If they're here, if they're in any one of these phases, or even right now, if they're faced with a situation where maybe there's a project that they believe in, that someone, that they've presented, they've been in that same boat where someone said, oh my goodness, no, I don't know about that. And they're in that place where their heart is, is hurting from, someone else not necessarily believing in the same goal they believe in, but obviously they want to still pursue their passion.
Right.
tell some people?
I think one big thing is you have to check in with yourself regularly, and you can do that by keeping copious notes and records of what you said you're about. Because you can get caught up and you can forget. And when you forget who you are, just like I made like the little detour and I got into the academics and then kind of took a step back with community. And then I was like, I came to myself like, I mean, I like this, but I don't like this like I love this. And that was some years lost. Had I checked in with myself or had a journal or had, these are my goals, I would have been able to look back and see, and little by little, I wouldn't have lost myself like that. Now, I feel like now I've gained a lot of very valuable experience being in those spaces where I felt like I wasn't valued and I wasn't, my scholarship wasn't valued, my work wasn't valued. It's taught me to be resilient. But I feel like had I had my go-to, like my monthly check-in or someone who I had asked to be a mentor. Mentors don't fall out the sky. You have to seek them out and you have to ask people to mentor you. People don't owe you that, then I would have been able to really make sure Granita was Granita. So I think that's one thing. If you check in with yourself, you are the expert on yourself. People can tell you, oh, you should be. And just like my advisor, bless her heart, I love her, love her, love her. And now, I mean, I'm glad I got the PhD now, 10 years later, 5 years later, 1,000 years later after I started. But she said, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. African-American woman in kinesiology, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do that. And I'm going on by what she said, not what I felt. And it didn't go that way. So if you know what you're about by checking in, by reevaluating, if you have the same goals, the same desires, the same passion, then no one can come in and push you and say, hey, do this, try this. You should, you'll look really cool with that. I mean, it's crazy the things you do to get affirmation or to be, thought of as on the same level as other folk.
Yeah, and it's also like, again, like I was saying earlier in the show, it's kind of checking in with your. Hi, Evan, by the way, for joining. We, it's going towards our North Star. If we check in ourselves and see, you kind of
That's
said,
right, just what you said, right?
You got here. And so maybe if you're in your thought, what I hear you saying is maybe you would have stayed as a more consistent pattern had you at the time given a check-in to Granita a little more often than you did.
For sure.
I think that's important too. And I think when people create, their missions, or if you do that kind of thing, every so often just write down kind of, we check in our jobs, right? Like we have mid-year reviews, we have yearly reviews. We hopefully are checking in with our health. So we kind of need to check in with our mental and emotional state as well, just like we check in with everything. So any more lessons that you would tell someone else? Check in with yourself was our first one.
Check in with self. I would also say and this might be what I just said, part B. It's easy to see what other people are doing and feel like you're not keeping up. Like I know you, certified fitness professional, Ken, certified fitness professional, me, certified fitness professional. There are lots of people out here who are doing lots of different things. And people flock to them. They're fans. They believe the hype, different diets, different workouts, and we know it's about energy balance. It's about eating well. It's all those things that have been the same things for years, but it's easy to think, oh, maybe I should add,
Mm.
you know, there's something like, I don't know how long this has been happening. I've never heard of it before. Goat yoga. Have you heard of goat yoga?
I've heard about
Okay.
that.
I don't know if that's a traditional thing but I'm like, in my head, I said, how could that be a thing? It just seems like sensationalism as opposed to the basics. And of course you can get bored with doing the same types of workouts or traditional workouts of the same things, but tried and true, no matter how you turn it upside down and add some glitter on it, and it's still wellness is wellness. So I think if you have done the work, you've done the research, you've gone, you know, through the certification, the degree program, or even you may not be a certified professional, but you're well read, you're educated, that you can't be impressed by the hype that's going on. You have to know how the body systems work. You have to know how it works, and you know, to have longevity, to be well, to not be injured, to not spend $1,000 on something that's not going to serve you. So I think bottom line, you just cannot know what you need to know, and don't be fooled by all the things that are out there. I got some likes with that, huh? Can you hear me?
You guys and some hearts on that one too.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, hearts floating on the side. So we are at 8:00. Believe it or not.
Okay.
I will have you back. So no, have you back. But I just want to get your final thoughts, and I want to again show. We really appreciate it. We'll definitely have you finish up this conversation. You're getting some hearts flying on the side here and some thumbs up. So we'll definitely have you back. But just one minute of your final thought as to, you know, your journey, and just sharing, you know, positivity to those who are listening and gonna listen here in the future.
Okay. I think you have to surround yourself with good, and it doesn't have to be a lot of them, but I have had she's always just encouraged me. My mom has always said, you can do this, Neek. I'm proud of you. Always giving me affirmations and joy and peace and prosperity over my life. So you need to surround yourself with good people who are for you. And I think when you do that, you know, support system, and it doesn't always have to be a mess, to be people who want health. They want to be well. That they want. They may not be there. They may be on the journey, but they need to have that desire to be well. So you need to self with those type of positive, good, supportive people. Yep. So that would be my takeaway.
A little bit, but we are great lessons and advice to you. I really needed to hear this today. Someone says to you. So
hey, someone shared that with me. So there you go, baby. It's free. I'm passing it along. I didn't make it up.
Thank you very much. We will definitely have you back, Granita. I love you so much. Okay. And I will talk to you.
You're my girl. You know that. Mwah.
Talk to you.
And thanks for everybody who tuned in.
And thank you to everyone. And we'll be back next Tuesday as well with Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.